You know, traditionally collard greens are cooked in a big pot with water, vinegar, sugar, some ham hocks, and, and just cooked down until they're very soft. And that's good. I like to have those. We have those on the menu here, and you know, a lot of people prefer that traditional method. This method's a little more fresh, a little more updated, but I like the flavor of collard greens, and I like the texture. I think that because they do have some bite to them, that gives them more interest to me on the plate. So no matter what you're doing with your collards, you're going to want to clean them. And this is just a head of collards, and I just leave them on the stalk and I just strip them off. You know, you can go back and take off the big veins, but you just strip them off. If they're tender enough, they'll break off, and you end up with kind of a skeleton of the head. Get all those little tender ones in the middle. That's what you end up with, you know, some of these bigger ones. You don't want these, that's no good. That's half good. And that one's a little rough. So I did some of it before, but it's that easy. I mean, and if you get 3 heads, it's probably enough for 4 people. Smaller heads, if you buy them in the store, they usually come bundled together. If you get them at the market, they're probably individual. After that, you just want to make sure you wash them really well. I wash these twice in ice water and let them drain. But then the leaves I'll just take and kind of line them up together, roll them up like a cigar, and just cut them probably 3/8 to a 1/2 inch. And then I'll go once down the middle. Again, if you got some bigger veins in there, just pull them out. Or you can lay it down and cut them out. In this preparation, it's a little better to get as much vein out of there as possible because they're a little bit tougher. And again, just kind of roll that up. Don't have to be super careful with it, just kind of chopping them up. There's a lot of liquid in collards, so when you cook this, it's gonna cook down the volume. It's kind of like any other green. When you notice how much spinach it takes to cook a lot of fresh spinach. It's kind of the same deal with collards and mustard greens, beet greens, or turnip greens. So it looks like a lot, but it's going to cook down. There's little ones in there. All right. And then I've got fresh garlic that I'm just gonna crush and chop. Give it a smash. I like a little bit of, you don't want it to be very mashed up or very fine. You want a few pieces of garlic. You want to know what's there. And I like the garlic flavor in this, so it's a pretty good amount of garlic. But put as much or little as you want in there. And I'm going to put about maybe a half onion in here, just diced up. probably enough. And then if you like, I want to put bacon in this one. So I'm using a piece of Benton slab bacon. I get this from Tennessee, shipped in when I need it. Alan Benton makes a great product, very smoky. I'm just going to cut a few strips off of there. Do one more. It's pretty lean bacon. I mean, there's a fatty end, but this one's pretty lean. I'm just going to cut it really thin this way. If you didn't want to use bacon, you could not have it at all. If you wanted that smoky flavor but didn't want pork, you could use, you can find smoked turkey wings at the store. Sometimes I'll use that. It gives you that smoky and fattiness without the pork. Some people just don't like pork or can't eat pork. So then in my pot, pretty much want to use a big pot, so you can get lots of stuff stirred around in there. Get it hot, and just going to put a little bit of oil. This just happens to be some olive oil. Could be whatever you've got. You want your pot to be hot. You don't want to start with a cold pot. It's almost there. Start with your bacon or your smoked turkey if that's what you're using. We're not going to cook this crispy. We're just going to kind of render out a little bit of that fat, so you get nice smoky flavor in there. And you can see it's starting to sizzle. Now, because this is cured, I mean, you could eat it like it is now, so it's not like you have to get it crispy to eat it. And you can see some of the fat starting to come out of that. I'm also going to add a little bit of butter to this. Not low fat. Sorry. And then the onions and garlic together. And that's really fragrant. I'm going to toast that garlic just a little bit and the onions. This is over it's pretty much high heat. Depending on your pan, you just have to watch the temp so it doesn't burn. And then I'll just add the greens. These have a little moisture on them from washing them, so that's going to deglaze that pan a little bit. That looks like a lot, but it's going to cook down. Just kind of roll it over. Going to let it saute a little bit, and then if you were not using any meat, or if you didn't want any meat in it at all, just wanted to make it vegan, you wouldn't add the butter, you just add a little bit of oil. I'm going to put a little bit of stock. This is just chicken stock, just to add some liquid. You could use water, you could use vegetable stock if that's what you have. It helps to wilt it. You see how that's cooked down already. Help cook it a little faster, you can put a cover on this and that would hold in some of that steam and make it cook a little faster. All in all, it will take about 10 minutes to get it down to where it's tender enough to eat. All right, so these have cooked down for a few minutes, about 8 minutes. I'm gonna add a little pepper, just ground black pepper, and just a little kosher salt. You use sea salt if you want. That's also gonna bring out some of the water that's in there. And you can hear that it's really still sauteing and steaming at the same time, cooking out that liquid. I'm just going to finish it with a little bit more butter. That's pretty much it. They really have a good bite to them. And if you wanted, you could just leave them in the pan with a cover on them. They will turn a little bit more olive color. This is more of a bright green color right now. They'll turn a little more olive and they're still fine. They'll still have a good texture, good flavor. They might even soften up a little more if you prefer that. But more of an updated kind of fresh collard green preparation.